Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Amplify and Grow Your Business and Personal Brand, Leveraging the Power of LinkedIn. My name is Michelle Eisenberg, and I am a program assistant at the Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center. And for those of you who may not know, the Nasdaq Center is a nonprofit building a better path for entrepreneurs worldwide by improving inclusion, access, and knowledge in entrepreneurship. And so, as you will see in the chat in a moment, the Nasdaq Center provides programs, resources, and exceptional mentorship to entrepreneurs across all races, industries, and geographies. So definitely make sure to check out those links and resources in the chat. And then just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. First, let us know where you are dialing in from in the chat. And second, we're going to open up for live Q&A at the end of the event. So please make sure to submit your questions for us in the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen throughout the presentation, and we will try our best to get to all of them. And of course, none of what we do could be possible at the center without all of the amazing support from our sponsors, including Nasdaq, Lehigh University, Bank of the West, Airbnb, KPMG, Wilson Sonsini, Woodruff Sawyer, Microsoft Entrepreneurship for Positive Impact, BPM, and HubSpot for Startups. We are humbled by their contributions and hope you are grateful too. And so before we get started, I am going to launch a couple polls just to step back and see how everyone's doing today. So this first one is going to ask, how are you feeling? Fearful, anxious, surviving, or optimistic? And I'll give it a few moments for everyone to think about it and submit a response. Awesome. Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Washington, Arkansas, Mississippi, Maryland, Georgia. Welcome, welcome, everyone. All right, I'm going to end this poll, share these results. Optimism is in the lead. Always love to see that, but we do have some feelings of anxiety and surviving in the audience. So hopefully some of our conversation today will boost your confidence a little bit. I'm going to stop sharing this poll and launch the second poll. What is keeping you up at night? Finance, sales, marketing, scale, pivot, team, or surviving? And this one tells us a little bit about your current entrepreneurial needs so that we can continue providing relevant content to everyone. So I'll give this one just a few more moments. Thank you, thank you. All right, I'm going to end this poll and share these results. Looks like sales in the lead, finance and marketing coming up behind. All right, we're going to take this into account. Thank you all so much for participating. I'm going to stop sharing that poll. And without any further delay, please join me in giving the warmest welcome to our special guest, Andy Stills, founder and CEO of Smashing Daily. And it is such a pleasure to have you here. And I'm going to hand it over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Michelle and Anna. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak before this group. I thank you so much for all of your help in allowing me to talk about my journey as an entrepreneur. It looks like the majority of the people on this Zoom are entrepreneurs just like me. And so I'm really pleased to share my journey, share my step-by-step tips and strategies that I used on LinkedIn to grow my business and my personal brand. And it looks like a lot of you are optimistic. I'm so happy. And there are reasons to be optimistic, you know, when you have a plan. And I'm going to show you how to have a plan and a strategy. There's reason to be optimistic. And also sales. I mean, we're in business to make money. After all, we have to pay our bills, right? And so sales is really important. And we're going to talk about that as well. Okay. Again, you already know my name. I'm Ann Stills. I'm the CEO, founder of Smashing Daily. It is a personal branding and image consulting firm. I'm based in New York, and my business is actually global. I travel, and I also have online Zoom events, Zoom meetings, Zoom workshops throughout the world. So without further ado, I'd like to take you to the next slide where I'll introduce myself, okay? And I am going to put my glasses on for this, all right? This is a little bit about me. I'm a native New Yorker. I'm a global citizen. I consider myself a global citizen because I've been traveling the world for a very long time, for business and also for pleasure. I consider myself a fashionista. Fashion is something that defines my brand. And I've been a fashionista since a young girl. My mom, she was a dressmaker. And so I always had beautiful dresses. And it was something that I loved and never grew out of. I'm a former sales stylist at luxury retail in New York, Bergdorf Goodman, Saks Fifth Avenue, and Neiman Marcus. I was a former flight attendant. I flew for 13 years. I went into corporate America after that. I was in the hotel industry as a director of sales. After I kind of got worn out with hotel sales, I went into financial services. And so I'm a former wealth management banker. Right now, I am a personal branding coach, image consultant, and speaker. And just like you, I am an entrepreneur and business owner. AICI, I'm a member. That is my industry association, Association of Image Consultants International. It is my business association, and I've been a member since 2015. I was the past president of the New York chapter for 3 years. I'm an overachiever. And I also was the editor-in-chief of the Global magazine for 2 years. And it was all a really, really fantastic, rich experience. And when we're talking about personal brand and personal branding, it is about bringing all that you are, all that you've experienced, all that you want to be and aspire to be, and creating your personal brand. So these are some of the things, just some of the experiences that I've had that made me the person that I am today, and also the person that you're going to meet further as we get into the presentation on the next slide. Okay, so we're going to talk about the agenda. I always like to let people know, what we're going to be discussing, okay? And it's going to be how to optimize your LinkedIn profile so that you can reach all-star status. What is all-star status and why does it matter? How to grow your connections and engage with your community. This is very, very important because your ideal clients are within those connections and that community. Now, what 2 strategies to use to be seen, heard, and remembered? Guess what? On LinkedIn, it's about being visible. When you have a personal brand, when you have a business, it is about being visible. You want people to know who you are, and you want them to know about your business. Okay, so what kind of content do you create to build your audience and attract your ideal client? We're going to talk about that. And what can you do today to start promoting yourself on LinkedIn? So in the next slide, we're going to start this presentation. All righty. As a business owner, you have to have a strategy. You have to have a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you have to have goals. And what I did as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I made strategy goals on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, it's a network that builds relationships so that you can become visible, and not just visible, but valuable. Because once people see the value in you, your community, your ideal client, that is when the relationship really, really starts to grow. And on LinkedIn, you want to be seen, you want to be heard, you want to be remembered. There's so many reasons why people are on LinkedIn: to get a job, to gain new connections, to build a community of fans and followers, to become known for their expertise and their thought leadership. And also, most importantly, to attract your ideal client and to generate new revenue. The majority of you said what's keeping you up at night is sales. So we're going to talk about that. So in the next slide, we'll continue the presentation. I've been active on LinkedIn for a while now. I've actually been on LinkedIn. I've had a LinkedIn profile account for probably 15 years. Because I was in corporate America, I had one, but I have not really become active on LinkedIn for only 2 years now, a little over 2 years. That's when I became active. And the new business results that I have gained from my LinkedIn strategy, which we're going to talk about today. Number one, there was a law firm, there was a partner in a law firm that contacted me because he saw and he was following all of my content, and he loved what I was talking about and writing about. And again, when we're talking about content and what you write about, you want to write about what you want to be known for. I want to be known for personal branding. And so that's all I write about. And so because of that, he contacted me and he wanted to retain my services for the new recruits because he wanted them to comport themselves in a certain way. He wanted them to represent the law firm. And you do that because you have a personal brand that is in alignment with who you are and also the company's core values. There was a woman on LinkedIn. She was based in Germany. She lives in Germany. She was following my LinkedIn profile and she reached out to me because she loved the way I looked and presented myself and my message and my content. And she was getting ready to be featured on CEO magazine. So she wanted my help with her image, the way that she looked. And so we talked about that. We worked on that. It did not happen because she found out that it was a pay to play. In order to be featured on the cover of that magazine, you actually had to pay a lot of money. And so she did not do it, but we're still talking and we're working on her personal brand, her executive presence. There's a female president of a fashion association I met at a party, and she, again, loved the way I looked. And I said, let's connect on social media. And so she started following me. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, and she loved the way, again, my presentation, my visual presentation. And so I am working with this female president of a national fashion association on her personal brand. I'm really excited about it too. There's a national real estate company that contacted me. She wanted me to train her staff in personal branding. They were getting ready to be taken over by an international firm. And so she flew me to Palm Beach, to West Palm Beach for a day to train her staff on personal branding. Again, LinkedIn strategy. I was a speaker at a national women's conference. This woman, she saw me on LinkedIn. She was doing a conference and she wanted me to be one of the speakers. And what did I talk about? Personal branding. Also on personal branding, there is Columbia University. It's a top university here in New York. And I love to mentor high school students. And so they saw something that I did on LinkedIn where I had 7 mentees at a local high school. And so they contacted me. They had this big program called the Scholars Program for young people that are really, really ambitious and really, really smart. So I'm working to create a curriculum for them on personal branding. a fashion university in Paris. They contacted me for my personal branding program. I was teaching a curriculum in Paris during COVID. And one of my students, she went, after she graduated from the master's program, she went to this fashion university and she told the executive director of the university about me. So I am creating a personal brand curriculum for a university in Paris, France. And again, all of this is because I am visible on LinkedIn. So we're going to continue my training here on the next slide. Okay, so why LinkedIn? Why LinkedIn? There are so many social media platforms, right? Why LinkedIn? Okay, this is why LinkedIn. LinkedIn has 875 million registered users, 57 million companies that are listed, 25 languages, 200 companies, and 70%, and this is LinkedIn statistics, of buyers are likely to consider a brand if you reach out to them via LinkedIn. So this is why you want to brand yourself, promote your business on LinkedIn. Every minute of every day, there is an opportunity for you to reach, to talk to promote your brand, and to talk to your ideal clients. So that is why you want to be on LinkedIn. Okay, on the next slide. Alrighty, once you create a profile, I don't know how many of you have a profile. If you have a profile, how about you just raise your hand in the chat? One of the things that you want to do if you have a profile, and if you don't have a profile, is you want to achieve an all-star status LinkedIn profile. And once you do that, you know, again, according to LinkedIn, I'm so happy to see everybody in the chat saying, I have a profile, I have a profile. That's wonderful. Okay, so all-star status is important. And why is it important? Because LinkedIn says it's important. It tells us that members with all-star profiles, they see more relevant feed updates and they receive more profile views. So LinkedIn, they're in charge of the algorithm and they're in charge of sending your feed, all of the things that you post, to your community and even people outside your community. So when you have an all-star status on your profile, you're more likely for LinkedIn to just push your information, your profile, your content, your posts through the feed. I am not seeing any slides. Anna, somebody's saying they're not seeing any slides. Is anybody else having that issue?
I think the slides are up. I think we're all good on the slides.
Okay, everybody's saying, I see them, I see them, I see them. I'm so sorry for the person that's not seeing them. Okay, so what do you need to complete to achieve an all-star status on LinkedIn? Okay, these are the things that you want to complete. You want to complete your banner. Your banner is your advertisement. You want to have a standout banner. You want to complete your headline. That's important. That will tell people who you are and what you do and who you do it for. Important. Headshot image. We are seen before we are heard. What does our visual presentation look like? And I can't stress the importance of this. And let me tell you why. There is an influencer on LinkedIn that I contacted with a few months ago. And one of the things that I saw in her, and this particular person, she has, I think, maybe 1 million followers. I mean, she's really an influencer. She's been in Forbes, she's been in the New York Times, she's been in everything that you can think of, Insider Business, everything. And so I connected with her, and she doesn't connect with everybody, but I did, and we'll talk about that. And so one of the posts that she had, She said that one of the people that she asked to be on her podcast asked her, well, why did you choose me to be on your podcast? And you know what this LinkedIn influencer said with over 1 million followers? She said, because of the way you look. She said she's scrolling all the time, that the way she looked stopped the scroll. So that is the value and importance of having a scroll stopping headshot image. We're seen before we are heard. We want people to see us. You also need to complete your contact information. I mean, how are people going to find you once they decide, oh, I want to reach out to her? The featured section is also very important. The about section is very important. You want to complete the experience section, education, recommendation, and connections. Once you complete all of these items, you have an all-star status LinkedIn profile. Okay, and that's not just all there is to it. You know, on the next slide, we're going to talk about this a little bit more in detail. Now, I pulled an example of an all-star profile. Now, Tima, she's someone that I'm connected with. She has over 124,000 followers. She's based in Australia. She has an excellent example of an all-star profile. Remember, I said in the banner, it's your billboard. That's the first thing you see. She says, I get visibility for corporates on LinkedIn. So right there, she's saying what she does and who she's doing it for. Very, very important to have a banner that speaks loud and clear. Okay. And then in her headline, right underneath her name, the headline, again, it tells who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. I get visibility for CEOs and corporate executives on LinkedIn using purpose-driven content. Very simple, very clear. Who she is, what she does, and who she does it for. Headline, really, really important. Now, the feature section is where you want to put, you know, different things, videos that you might have. You also want to put, if you have any kind of media that you've done, if you've written an article and some type of publication, you want to put it there. And or even if you just have a post that goes viral, a big post that you get a whole bunch of likes and followers, you want to put it there. Okay. All right. On the next slide, what we're going to do is see further example of an all-star profile. Okay, your about page. Now, on your about page, that is where you have the opportunity to speak to your ideal client, and you speak to them in the first person, I. And I love what Tima has wrote in that first sentence. You are here because you want to create content that is engaging, yet you have no idea how. So immediately she is addressing her ideal client, her prospect's pain point. And that is what you're going to be doing in your about page. You're addressing your client's pain points. Okay? She lists all of her experience, her social proof of who she are and why you should hire her. Okay, her education, again, more brand assets. You want to complete an all-star status. Okay, on the next page, we'll see further example of an all-star status. This is Tima again. In her skills section, it lists different things that she says that she has skills, and then people are endorsing her. Okay. So you want to list here all of the things that you have skills in, whatever they are, okay? And then recommendations. Those are people that have used your services, okay? On the next slide, please, we are going to talk about, now that you've completed this all-star profile, okay? And LinkedIn is going to push you through because it's completed. Who should you contact now? Who do you connect with now? Well, the people that you connect with now is what I call the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit, okay? These are 10 quick, easy groups and people that you can use, that you need to connect with to grow your connections. Clients, okay? That's easy. Suppliers, people that you do business with, your suppliers, your former colleagues. Again, these are all people that you know and that know you. Your professional friends, everybody is on LinkedIn. Your family members that are in professions, you want to contact them, connect with them, because they all have a network of people that your ideal clients could be within these networks. School friends, absolutely. These are people that know you. When you attend conferences or Zoom events like you're attending now, you want to connect with the speaker, okay? People at networking events and trade shows, anybody that you talk to for any period of time, that you exchange your card or anything like that, what you want to do, and I don't exchange cards, I actually have a QR code for my LinkedIn account, okay? And I want to remind you all, please have your phones, your cell phones ready, because at the end, you will see my QR code, and then you can just take a picture and it will immediately take you to my LinkedIn profile. And guess what? You want to do that with people that you are meeting live and in person, okay? Now, you want to connect with people that you meet in groups that you belong to. I belong to different professional female groups. I've connected with those people on LinkedIn, okay? And people who inspire you, people that you know that are high-level professionals, high-level in their business. You know, I've connected, you know, because I've been in banking, I've connected with, you know, the chief diversity officer from Goldman Sachs. I mean, why would she connect with me? I mean, somebody on that level. But again, I'm going to teach you strategies to reach out to people on that level. Just quickly, somebody asked, I saw it in the chat, you know, should you connect with everybody? No, no, and no. You should not connect with everybody. There's no reason to connect with everybody. We are on here, and I'm telling you, you want to be a little bit selfish on here. You want to connect with people that it's a mutually beneficial relationship. You want to connect with people that are your ideal clients. You want to connect with people that are leaders in your industry. You want to connect with organizations and groups where your ideal clients are, okay? So let's keep going on the next slide. Now, how do you, after you connect with those low-hanging fruit, those people that know you, like you, trust you, what's next? How do you search for new targeted connections? Well, once you go on LinkedIn, right there in the search bar, all you have to do is write people, okay? Just type in people, and then press enter. And once you do that, I mean, millions of people will come up, but you're going to have to put in filters, okay? And so you're going to the filter section, which you'll see right there on the top right, okay? It'll say filters. And so what you want to do, okay, is you always want to click on where it says second level connections, because that means that these are people that are connected to people that you're already connected to. So it's kind of like a warm connection. And a lot of people that are in your network, you might not necessarily really know them, but it still helps when you're trying to reach out to them. Well, we have a mutual connection, so and so. And so people are more apt to connect with you that way. Okay, that is one of the ways that you can find, filter, and there's so many different filters. You can filter by company, you can filter by region, you can filter by their title. There's so many filters that you can put. So this is how you target your connections, because again, you're looking for sales. You're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, maybe starting out, maybe in the middle, maybe expanding, and you want to find new clients. So you want to target those ideal clients in this way, okay? And again, you can target clients by location, what they talk about. You can target by company, the schools, the industry, the language. Those are other ways that you can have a real targeted search. Okay, let's look at other ways in the next slide. Okay, now you're on LinkedIn. You have built up your profile, all-star status. You have connected with those 10 groups of people, those low-hanging fruit that know you. You have even found some targeted connections. Okay, well, what 2 strategies can you use to be seen, heard, and remembered? And remember, being on LinkedIn, it's about being visible. There are so many people on LinkedIn. You saw the numbers. What do you do to be seen, heard, and remembered? LinkedIn have 2 amazing elements: LinkedIn live events and LinkedIn audio events. These are live broadcasts on LinkedIn on your profile, and these are available to members, and these are live events, real-time live events that you set up so that people can come on there and hear you talk. And you know what? Some people are shy, and I understand that. You know, I'm an introverted person, believe it or not, but I have to be extroverted when I'm doing what I do. But my nature is introversion. So the other event that they have, LinkedIn audio events, these are events where you're not showing up live, but it's just an audio and your profile. And again, you're talking to everyone that registered it on there. And yes, someone asked me, is this part of the paid version? I do believe it is part of the paid version. Yes, it is for members, but it is an absolutely amazing, invaluable way to be seen, heard, and remembered. And I will show you why in the next slide. Okay. I have copied some 2 different events. Now on your left side, okay, LinkedIn live event. This is a LinkedIn live event. Again, this person, and when you're on these events, you're talking about what you want to be known for and what you want clients to do. This person getting clients on LinkedIn 2023. Okay, feel your sales pipeline. And guess what? If you look a little bit closer, you might not be able to see it, but guess what? 817 people registered for this LinkedIn Live. So that is 817 potential clients. And you know why they're potential clients? Because they've registered for an event, which is what he is known for. He helps you to get clients on LinkedIn. Okay, that's why you want to do that paid. That's why you want to do that paid membership, because this is what you have access to. Okay, And someone said you can register for this if you have creator mode turned on. And I do believe that might be the case. I am not certain, okay? But yes, and we'll talk about that. Now, on the right side, there's a LinkedIn audio event, okay? And again, for those of you that are shy and don't want to appear live, you can do audio. And again, it just shows your face, your name, and your title. Okay. And again, this is someone that's talking about personal branding, my wheelhouse, the key to personal and business success. Okay. How to build a personal brand and leverage big. Okay. This person, when she set up this LinkedIn audio event, and again, it's not live, it's just audio, not her face, just her voice and everybody else's voice and their headshot. There were 2,014 people that registered for her LinkedIn audio. 2 amazing ways that you could become seen, heard, and remembered. LinkedIn live events and LinkedIn audio events. Okay, let's continue on the next slide. What are we going to see? Okay. Now, once you have people that you're connected to or you're connecting to, what is the outreach like? Okay, how do you reach out to them in the DM? Always, 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 let me repeat, always, always, always send a personalized message through your DM. Always. When you're trying to reach out to connect with someone, you can just hit the connect button and that automatically, it just sends a connection request. But why should they reach out to you? Why should they connect with you if you don't even have the time or the forethought to send them a personal message? I rarely respond to anyone that is trying to connect with me and they don't send a personalized message. And a lot of people are like that. Unless the person is huge and they have 1 million followers, I will thank them for their connection request and I will absolutely follow up with them. Okay. Now, again, while you're outreaching, while you're reaching out on the DMs, what do? What else can you do? Okay, reference a mutual connection. Remember when I was saying that when you're trying to find targeted connections, target those that are second level connections. These are people that are already connected to someone you're connected with. So when you do that, you can reference a mutual connection. You can reference something that you read on their post, a mutual event that they attended. And this is really important. This is an amazing tactic. Write this down. One of the tactics that I use to follow up and to get more connections. Remember the LinkedIn Live and also the LinkedIn audio events and all of those people that registered. When you register, you see all of those people that registered. And so what I do is look at each and every one of them and see if there are people that I want to connect, because I don't connect with everyone. I look at each and every one of them and see if I want to connect with them. And then I send a DM and I reference a mutual event that they attended. And I ask, well, what did you get out of that event? You know, and then I tell them the value that I receive. And this way you're starting a conversation. It's not just a connection request that you're asking for, but it's a conversation. Okay. Number 3, I always end my message, always, always, always. And this is why I put it in red. I am always interested in building community with other dynamic leaders. Please accept my invitation to connect. I'm interested in building community, and people like that. They want to be a part of a community. That is what LinkedIn is about, building community. So at the end of your message. Steal that. I want to build community with other dynamic leaders, or whoever you perceive that person to be and who you perceive yourself to be. Okay. Now, once they accept your message, always, always, always send a personalized reply thanking them for accepting your invitation, and that you look forward to engaging and following their journey and their content. Very important. And you can reply also using a video. And I think that you have to be a member of. That is my preference. I always like to send a video reply thanking them. Okay. Now press the follow button so that you can get all of their posts in your feed. And then you can start commenting and on their posts and building continued rapport. Number 6, very, very, very important. Keep this in your mind and put it in stone. Do not sell your services as soon as you make the connection. Build rapport first and look for the first opportunity to present your services. Do not sell them in the first as soon as you connect. It will turn people off and they will disconnect with you. I promise you. If you don't hear anything else I'm saying, please remember that. People are DMing and selling in the DMs all the time. People complain about it. It happens. Don't be one of those people. Okay, on the next slide. Okay, master your content to increase your visibility to attract your ideal client. How do you attract your ideal client and become visible? The most important way to do that is to write original content, not reposting something. You can repost. I rarely, if ever, I don't think I've ever reposted anything, but I write original content. The reason why, because your original content, you're writing to attract your ideal client. Okay, that is why it is important to do that, because they'll start following you. And then what you're saying, it will start resonating with them. Okay, find your voice and your style of writing and stick with that. Be conversational. Just be who you are in your writing content and write about the things that you want to be known for. I always write about personal branding or image management. I tell stories, but my stories are always wrapped up in personal branding or image management. Okay, tell your story. People want to know who you are. Remember, you want them to know you, like you, trust you. The first thing is to know you. So tell your story. Who are you? What you care about, and why you do the work that you do. If you've been on LinkedIn a while, write a reintroduction story, a post. Allow me to reintroduce myself. For all of those that have a LinkedIn profile, and if you're not active, this should be one of the first posts that you write. Reintroducing yourself. Okay, so the next slide. What else can we do? All right, this is important. Content is king. Original content is everything. Consistency is queen. So your strategy when you are on LinkedIn and trying to build up your personal brand, who you are, what you do, what you want people to feel about you, how you want them to experience you when they see you, when they read your content. Okay, and consistency is queen. These are the 2 strategies that you must use in order to get people to know you, like you, and trust you. Those 2. And consistency, the consistency that you want is really 3 days a week, honestly, really. And that is how you will get the desired results that you want, whatever those goals are. Okay, so on the next slide, we're going to talk about what you can do today. What can you do right now when you get off this call, this Zoom? Optimize your profile to all-star status. Remember, when you have an all-star status profile, LinkedIn will start pushing your post through the feed more. Change your headline immediately. If it does not tell who you are and what you do and who you do it for, change it. Because once they see your picture that they're going to love, and then it's going to stop the scroll, right? Your banner, that headline, that banner, you want them to stop scrolling too. So you have to say who you are, what you do, and who you do it for, okay? Again, connect with people on the 10 tips for new connections. All those low-hanging fruit, you can do that now. Look in your phone book, look in wherever you have contacts, look in them and start connecting with those people. Join 2 new groups, 2 relevant groups, okay, in your industry and in the industry that your ideal clients are. Remember how I showed you to go in when you're trying to target people? You can go in that search, type in groups, and groups will come up, okay? That's how you can find different groups. And, you know, one of your first posts could be about your experience and learning in this workshop and your excitement to start your LinkedIn personal brand journey, okay? The next to the last slide will be the next one. Okay, now you have your phones out, okay? Take a photo of the scan, all right? My LinkedIn profile will pop up. And once that does, just hit connect and write me in the DM, Power Moves, okay? And I have a ebook that I have written, Power Moves, Elevating Your Personal Brand as an Entrepreneur. I will send you a part of that book, okay? I have a master class that I'm going to be teaching, and that's why I created that ebook, and it's for people just like you all. Entrepreneurs. It is about the journey that I have taken to become visible, to create a personal brand that is powerful, to create a business that is visible and credible. Okay, and the last slide, again, I thank you so much. Smashing Daily, I am Ann Stills, and I am so happy to be here and present to you and meet you all.
And thank you so, so much. Your energy is just so contagious and your insights were super, super actionable. So thank you. I really loved that. We still have some time for questions. So if you're in the audience and you have a question, make sure to drop it in that Q&A box and we'll try to get to as many of them as possible. But let's jump right in. So before, entrepreneurs might invest time and resources into creating a LinkedIn presence, how can they determine whether the LinkedIn platform is actually the right platform to amplify their business and their personal brand?
That is very, very easy. Okay, there's so many media platforms, so many. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the new one that Instagram has, what is it called?
Threads.
Threads, all of that. And guess what? How do you decide? You decide which one to show up on and promote your personal brand and business on, because that is where your ideal clients are. And when you are doing your personal brand strategy, which is part of what I talk about and teach in my masterclass, you have to identify your ideal client persona. And part of identifying who your ideal client is where they're showing up. So that's why you decide where you're going to put your energies, where you're going to write your content, where you're going to build your brand, where your ideal clients are. And they might be multiple places, but we want you to find and select and decide the best place first. Because this is a long journey. It's a lot of work. And so you don't want to start on 2 platforms. You want to start on one platform first.
Love it. And I think that just kind of goes back to, like the research that is kind of necessary, and like how deeply you have to know who that target audience is before kind of jumping into these next steps. So that's super helpful. We have a few entrepreneurs, excuse me, wondering kind of about how they might craft messaging and content differently for different audiences. So, if you're trying to reach out to individuals versus a company, or, if you have two totally unrelated brands and you're trying to reach out to different market segments, how might you kind of balance that?
Right. That's easy. I market to corporations because that's mostly what I do now. And I also market to individuals because I have a program for executive women, and I've just recently created 2 new programs on a Zoom or in a room, Image Matters, and then this personal branding promotion for entrepreneurs. I created it as I was getting ready for this, in the last 2 months. I've created that ebook and the program because I know the journey is hard, and I know that people need to have a strategy and they need to have steps. So your messaging is the same, whether or not you're talking to an individual or a corporation, but the way you craft the message is differently. You're talking about, does your team have your team? How is your team managing? Is your team representing your company's core values, your core personal brand? So you're talking about their team, the people that they manage when you're reaching out to corporations or to groups. If it's an individual, then you talk about their individual needs. And again, as I said, you talk about the content that you're writing about is their pain points. It's their pain points. Like for groups, they're all on. A lot of them, they're still conducting meetings on Zoom. Right. How are they showing up on Zoom? Are they still in their pandemic mode, in this square? I mean, are they presenting themselves dynamically? Do they look and represent the company? I mean, that's something that managers, groups, companies, in my wheelhouse, they are concerned about. And so whatever your industry is, whatever your service or your product is, you have to understand the pain points of the company and also the individual. Pardon.
Totally. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you. So we have a few entrepreneurs that are wondering a little bit more about like the value of a paid level membership on LinkedIn. So I'm not sure if like you're, totally aware necessarily of everything that comes with the paid level membership, but from your experience, like, is it right for every entrepreneur? And like, if not, like what stage of business would be a good time to kind of consider that investment?
Well, let's put it this way. I do have a paid membership. I've always had a paid membership. My company was paying for it. However, once I became self-employed, I continued that paid membership, and I was grandfathered in because I've had it for 15 years. So the price that I pay is not the price that they're paying now. But one thing that I can say for certain, for anyone that is asking, do you need a paid membership? Let me tell you about someone that I am connected with. And this girl is 17 years old. She is a writer. She has written content for, not content, but she's written, she's done projects for me, writing projects for me. She's amazing, incredible. She has over 42,000 LinkedIn followers. She does not have a paid membership.
Wow.
She does not have a paid membership. She's 17 years old, quite brilliant. She writes amazingly well. She is so insightful, and she's only been on LinkedIn 1.5 years. That's it.
Wow.
That is it. Yes.
That's really incredible.
It is absolutely incredible. And she's someone that I have, hired because she's helping me with my program, my personal branding program curriculum for high school students, and also with the Columbia Scholar program.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yes.
that's awesome. And I guess that just goes to show that, like it's really about like the strategies and like the consistency that you're employing.
Exactly. And no, she doesn't have a paid membership, but she found her people. She posts consistently. She posts content that resonates with her people, her followers and her fans. And she also posts about, her life, her personality, what she's doing. And people love it. I mean, she gets, 300 likes and more. I mean, and she's only been on it for 1.5 years. So I tell you all, this works. It absolutely works. It's a long game. It is not easy, but you have to post content and you have to be consistent. Okay.
Awesome. Love it. I think we have time for one more question. So this one hopefully will be a quick one, but we had a couple entrepreneurs wondering, now you have connections on LinkedIn. Maybe you've formed some meaningful relationships with some of those people. How do you get people in that network to give you skill endorsements and recommendations? How do you kind of build that part of your profile up?
Well, what I would do, if you don't, people that you've worked with, if they're on there, I would ask them, because when I was doing the personal branding for high school program for the mentees that I had this summer, and we created a LinkedIn profile. They all created a LinkedIn profile, but they had nobody to, anything. And so what happened was, their teachers are on there, and a lot of them, they have jobs. And so the people that they work for, they were on there. So they asked for endorsements. So again, look for people that you've worked with, people that are in school or schools that you've attended. Anyone that knows you that might be on there. It's important because when you're building up that all-star profile, you only need, I think, maybe 5 endorsements or something. That's all. 2 or 5, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that's good to know. So, it's definitely great to like aspire to, those level of endorsements in the example that you chose, but, it's that long and slow process. And, it's if with that investment of time, and you'll kind of see those results over time. So I love that. And this has been so incredible. If you had one last piece of wisdom or highlight from this conversation that you wanted to leave with the audience, what would that be?
I would tell the audience, I would tell the entrepreneurs out there to build your personal brand on social media, to promote yourself, to find your audience, to find your community, and to be consistent, and do not give up. This is a long game. It is a journey. And you will have a lot of doubt. You will pull your hair out and you will wonder why I'm doing this. And you will see nothing happening. But then one day you will. Yeah. One day you will. And the other side of doubt is success. So you keep going and you do not give up.
Awesome. And thank you so much for your incredible insights and overview of this topic. It has been such a pleasure on behalf of the Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center and everyone here today. Thank you so much for being here.
And again, thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate the group. I appreciate you all so much. I know your journey. You can do this. I am rooting for you. I have done it. It's amazing. It's wonderful. And it has changed my life, and it will change yours as well. And thank you so much for this hour that you've spent with me today.
Awesome. And to our audience, we would love for you to join us for upcoming webinars, which you can view using the link that's going to be posted in the chat. And thank you all so much for joining us today. We look forward to welcoming you back online with us soon.